Hello everybody, I'm here to test once again the battery on the Ember mug. So I did a test at 0 months, at 6 months, and at 1 year, thinking that I would see some degradation along the way. I saw none. And so here I am 2.5 years later. I've been using the mug for 3.5 years. I've got 900 uses on the thing, either coffee or tea, over the last 3.5 years. And I'm very interested to see how it's going to perform. In the previous tests, it kept coffee in my drinkable range for 56 minutes. So that is, for me, that's between 130 degrees Fahrenheit and 140 degrees Fahrenheit. 56 minutes for all three of those tests, even up to a year. That surprised me, considering how much we use batteries and we know that over time they degrade. So I'm kind of interested how this one's going to come out now after 900 uses. We'll get to that in a second. I will say the mug has held up very well over the last 3.5 years. The only thing that's gone wrong on it now is the little rubber gasket on the bottom, or the pad that kind of keeps it from sliding around on the table. The adhesive is starting to come off on it, and I probably need to glue that thing back on. But other than that, it's as good as it was on day one. But let's see how the battery performs. All right, just a quick review of how this is done. I've got boiling water at 200 degrees. I'm at 6,000 feet of elevation, so that is the boiling point here. I've got my measuring cup and my mug. I will preheat both of these to 200 degrees by putting boiling water into them. I'll empty them out, and then I'll put the 12 ounces of boiling water into the Ember mug and measure how long it takes to get it, before it goes to below 130 degrees. We'll let that sit a little bit to get the heat out of the water and into the containers. All right, I'm going to dump these out and do the test. There's 8 ounces. Lost a fraction of an ounce there. And let's get another 4 here. Put a few more drops in since I spilled a little bit there. Okay, there's 4 ounces for a total of 12 ounces. And I will start the stopwatch.
So for the next 2 hours, it's just me taking temperature measurements every 5 minutes, so we'll skip that and get right into the results. All of the charts are going to look like this, so I want to make sure you understand what we're looking at here. This is a chart from my initial test 3.5 years ago when the mug was brand new. The vertical axis is temperature, ranging from 170 degrees down to 100 degrees, and the x-axis along the bottom shows the time in minutes, so you can see I was taking measurements for about 2 hours. Anything above 140 degrees, I'm calling too hot, and anything below 130 degrees, I'm calling too cold. So what I'm interested in is how long it stays in the white drinkable zone. And in this case, like I showed earlier, this is about 57 minutes. Now let's clear out all of the markup here and start adding in more tests. Here's the 6 months and then again at a year, and you can see the results were reproduced pretty much exactly with what looks like that same 57 minutes both times. And now for the big reveal of how this test came out after 3.5 years and 900 uses. It came out almost exactly the same, but you can see it is a little less than the 57 minutes from before, and to get the real value, we're going to need to zoom in to the point where the lines cross into that too cold zone. And once I zoom in here, you can see that when it was new, it was that 57 minutes, and after a year, it was more like 56 minutes, which I had previously mistakenly called a tie. And then after this 900 use test, it went all the way down to 55 minutes. That comes out to a grand total of 3.5% degradation in battery performance after 3.5 years. I think that's absolutely incredible, and hats off to Ember for creating a mug without designing in planned obsolescence and just making the battery die after a year, so you have to buy a new mug. So well done to Ember, and like and subscribe if you want to see another update on this mug in 2 years.